I do have patients who come in that are on, for instance, narcotics for pain. They're made to feel very guilty at the pharmacy, by their doctors, by their family, by their friends that they use narcotics. And they try cannabis, and they really do, but they don't get the relief that they get from the narcotics. And one of the things that I think is important in cannabis medicine is to understand that it's good for a lot of people, but not for everyone. So some of those patients, we come to the conclusion together that it's not doing what they want it to do, and maybe they're better off following their traditional allopathic medical treatment for their pain. The other thing I can tell you is there are patients who have a history of psychosis or schizophrenia, and psychosis meaning there are moments when they have breaks with reality or they have hallucinations. These patients are not patients that I would want to put on cannabis. One of the big contraindications to cannabis are in younger adults, from even teenagers, from maybe 15 to the 20s, who have any history of schizophrenia or psychotic episodes, because you can induce them to come back out again, and it's almost like you can train the brain to go in the wrong direction. And so I'm very leery to use cannabis in people with a lot of psychiatric issues at a young age. Having said that, there are people come in here who ask me, could you help me use cannabis to treat my cancer? It's a very common request for a consultation. While I do believe that cannabis holds great promise to treat cancer, we're not there yet. We're doing studies. Harvard just came out with a preliminary study on canaflavins and pancreatic cancer, for example, just last week. But it's not ready for prime time. You can't come here and say, I want a protocol to treat my cancer. So that's hard, because I have to tell some patients, no, in my opinion, you can use it to treat nausea and vomiting related to treatments or poor appetite, but to use cannabis as a treatment for cancer is something I can't recommend at this time. Many of the things people come in to seek treatment for are actually not approved of in the state of Florida. So the top players, insomnia, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, anxiety, actually those exact diagnoses are not approved of in the state of Florida. However, we have a diagnosis in the state of Florida called similar to. So if I, as the cannabis practitioner, can justify to the state of Florida that the science that I am aware of points to being able to use cannabis to treat your issue, even if it isn't one of the approved of diagnoses, I can send a letter to the state, and if the state doesn't agree with me, they will say no. And therefore, the most common things we treat, they all need letters to the state, because I've had fabulous success with arthritis. But arthritis is not at this moment an approved of diagnosis in the state of Florida, and we need to send a letter to the state. So that's a lot of things that I think we can benefit from that aren't in the list. And then there are some things on the list that I'm not really always sure why they're on the list, but when you come in, we go over the diagnoses that you have, what the state approves, and how we make them mesh if there's something that I think I can do for you there.